Being a cornerstone of the Saturday morning cartoon scene throughout the late 90s and early 2000s, 4Kids Entertainment had a massive hand in shaping the childhoods of those of us who grew up watching shows of that era. Originally established as Leisure Concepts all the way back in 1970, the company specialised in producing animated programming that they aired across a variety of channels and TV blocks, including 4Kids TV, formerly known as Foxbox, and Toonzai. Some of their most prolific and somewhat controversial work was their English dubs of Japanese anime, with their two most well-known dubs of course being Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh!, which both helped catapult their respective franchises to massive success in America. The reason I say controversial when it comes to their dubs is because 4Kids are infamously known for completely butchering and changing some of the original content from the Japanese versions of the anime they dubbed in an attempt to localize them for a Western audience. I don't know about you guys, but every jelly-filled donut I've ever eaten looks exactly like that. That's definitely not a rice ball, is it? Despite their sometimes hilarious and inaccurate dubs of certain shows, much like Toonami, 4Kids helped to popularize a good amount of anime series in the US and all around the world. Simply put, without 4Kids, some of us may not have discovered some of the shows that got us more interested in anime and Japanese programming as a whole. They also helped to bring two of the most iconic theme songs in animation history into existence, so we'll cut them a little slack for stuff like this. While some of their biggest work was done through dubbing several different anime series from Japan, 4Kids also produced other animated shows such as the 2003 version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Viva Pinata. As far as my personal experience with 4Kids goes, we didn't actually have 4Kids TV here in the UK, so I caught a lot of their shows on alternative channels such as Jetix and Kix, which were two massive channels from my childhood. And some of my favourite shows from 4Kids were the previously mentioned Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Sonic X, Shaman King, and Ultimate Muscle. Over the years, the diverse library of 4Kids programming has mostly been archived through DVD releases, video recordings, and fans uploading their copies of the shows to the internet. However, as usual on this channel, we wouldn't be talking about 4Kids if there wasn't some of their content that had been lost to time. I'd previously covered a couple of examples of 4Kids lost media in some of my other videos, but there's actually a good amount of lost media from them to justify an entire video based on their content. Since I've had it requested a few times in the comments, as well as it coming out on top in the poll I recently put out for you guys, I thought now would be a good time to dive into the shadow realm of 4Kids media and take a look at some of the programming from 4Kids that has vanished since its release. Of course, with a vast library of shows, there is a lot more that has gone missing than I can fit into a single video, so if you guys are interested in seeing more 4Kids lost media after this video, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Also, a very quick shout out to Blue Baron, who has been instrumental in the search for a lot of the 4Kids lost media that's out there, and whose Reddit thread served as a good source of inspiration for this video. So let's not waste any more time and give the people what they want. Here's the lost and cancelled media of 4Kids Entertainment. Funky Cops. Funky Cops is a French animated series produced by Anti-Films Productions and Greenlight Media that originally released in France in May of 2002 before being licensed to 4Kids Entertainment in 2003 so that they could produce an English dub for the show. The show was an animated spoof of 1970s cop shows that follows two undercover agents on the police force who solve crimes and become stars at a San Francisco disco scene. 4Kids' dub of the series initially premiered on Foxbox on September 20th, 2003, however after just 9 episodes it was decided that the rest of the episodes would be uploaded to the 4Kids TV website as the show did horrendously bad in terms of ratings. The episodes released on the 4Kids website remained there until May of 2009 when they were removed and were not mirrored elsewhere online. Due to this, the series has fallen into relative obscurity, with a large majority of the episodes of 4Kids' dub now being lost. Currently, we only have access to 7 complete episodes of the dub. These episodes are A Fool's Errand, Gold Singer, King of the Ring, Blast from the Past, Double Life, Under Construction, and Partridge in a Pear Tree. The remaining 19 episodes are currently completely lost, with no footage, screenshots, or audio to account for their existence. According to the Lost Media Wiki, the voice actor for the character Captain Dobbs, Frederick B. Owens, once had all of the episodes of the show that aired on Foxbox recorded on TiVo, but this was taken away from him. I would, however, take this claim with a grain of salt, as there isn't a source for this information on the wiki, and I couldn't find where Frederick originally said this myself. It should be noted that there was another English dub of the show that was not produced by 4Kids. This dub was produced in France using Paris-based voice actors and currently appears on Kabylian On Demand, as well as on YouTube. From what I can tell based on my research, this dub of the show is also not archived in its entirety online, so there may be some interest in getting this version found as well. I say from what I can tell because there's honestly not a lot of concrete information about either of this show's dubs available on the internet. We do have most of the Kabylian dub available on YouTube, with 24 episodes uploaded to the official Funky Cops YouTube channel. However, I don't know for sure if the rest of the show was dubbed into English, as the French version of the show had a total of 39 episodes, but I could only find 24 episodes of the dub. The 4Kids dub is even harder to come by. As previously stated, we only have 7 episodes of that version of the show, and with the show being so terribly unpopular, it's no surprise that it was left to rot on the 4Kids website before fading off into obscurity, never to be seen again by most of us. I did find a listing for DVD copies of the show on a website called dvdplanetstore.pk, which I believe is a DVD store based out of Pakistan. However, after diving into a few Reddit threads, it seemed like this website is either a scam or just sells bootleg DVDs. The site's presentation of the DVDs doesn't really give me much hope either, as the description is just copied from the Lost Media wiki, and the price for the listing is pretty damn high for a DVD of some random and unpopular French animated series from the early 2000s. I'm pretty sure this version wouldn't be the 4Kids version, as it lists both seasons, and from what I've read online, it appears 4Kids only dubbed the first season of the show, which was 26 episodes, opting to exclude the second season, which was shorter at 13 episodes. If someone wants to brave it and order a copy of this DVD, then be my guest, but I'm not too confident much would come from it, aside from someone losing some of their hard-earned money to a scam. Then again, if the bootleg rumours are true, that may be just what we need at this point, as I doubt we're ever seeing an official release of the English dub, due to the show's lack of popularity in the States. Outside of the 7 episodes we have, there's practically nothing else available from this weird and mysterious dub of this weird and mysterious show. If anyone watching this video has any memories of watching it, or just has any information in general about this show, do feel free to drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, as I was coming up mostly empty-handed when searching for information. Until someone does come forward with more information, it's likely that the 4Kids dub of Funky Cops will likely remain coated in a thick layer of Lost Media dust to keep it shrouded in mystery. F-Zero GP Legend. As stated at the beginning of the video, one of the most popular properties that 4Kids got its hands on was Pokemon, and while they saw massive success with that series, it wasn't the only Nintendo property to be handled by 4Kids. Another Nintendo franchise that 4Kids managed to get the rights to use was F-Zero through the dub of F-Zero GP Legend. F-Zero GP Legend was an anime series that followed protagonist Ryu Suzaku, known as Rick Wheeler in the dubbed version, who suffers an injury at work and is placed into cryo-freeze. By the time he is released from cryo-freeze, 150 years have passed, and Ryu is tasked by the secret galactic police with stopping corruption within F-Zero races. The series initially premiered in Japan in October of 2003, lasting a total of 51 episodes and ending its run in September of 2004. That same month, 4Kids premiered their English dub of the show on the Foxbox block to tie in with the release of the F-Zero GP Legend video game that also released in September of 2004. As with a lot of 4Kids versions of Japanese shows, there were notable changes made to the series from its original version in order to cater the show to the US market. An example of this is during the non-racing scenes, the 2D drawn vehicles were changed to be 3D models made using CGI. Additionally, certain episodes were skipped over due to content that 4Kids didn't feel would have appealed to a US audience, such as an episode that featured the characters cross-dressing. Although the series had 51 episodes in Japan, 4Kids only dubbed 26 episodes of the series. Despite producing 26 episodes for the dub, only 15 actually made it to air due to the show being massively unpopular from a ratings point of view, making the English dubs of episodes 16 to 26 completely lost to the public. So if they didn't air more than 15 episodes, how do we know that there were 26 episodes produced in the first place? Well, there's a few pieces of evidence that suggest this was the number of episodes that were made. In an interview with YouTuber The Cartoon Gamer 8000, the scriptwriter for the 4Kids dub confirmed that there were 26 episodes of the show that were produced in English. Additionally, Captain Falcon's voice actor, David Ghosty Wills, also told the Cartoon Gamer 8000 that he did a full season of the show and recalled dubbing the reveal of Captain Falcon's identity, which doesn't happen until after the 15th episode of the original Japanese show. The Hungarian dub of the show, which is archived in its entirety online, has 26 episodes, and this dub used the 4Kids scripts as a base to translate the show into Hungarian. The 26th episode of the Hungarian version features the Captain Falcon reveal that was mentioned in the interview, meaning that English audio must exist for these 26 episodes, as David remembers specifically recording that part. As far as information goes regarding the lost dubbed episodes, there isn't a huge amount out there. The last episode of the English dub to air on TV was episode 15, titled Target Tanaka. The episode that was supposed to air after this, titled Super Scam, was scheduled to air the week after episode 15 did, but it was preempted by a rerun of Sonic X, so we're only left with the English title of this episode. Additionally, Cherry Lane Music Company, who owned the rights to a bunch of music from 4Kids shows, filed a copyright document in May of 2010 titled Dr. C in Boat 3. Within this document, the title for the 18th episode of F-Zero GP Legend is listed as secret in the SANIC. Outside of these two episode titles, and loosely translated versions of the Hungarian episode titles, we have no other information about the English dub for the remaining 11 episodes of the show that are still lost. There are no audio tracks, footage, or screenshots to be found anywhere online from the English version. The closest we could probably get to knowing what the contents of the dub are is if someone fluent in Hungarian took time to translate the dialogue from episodes 16 to 26 of the Hungarian dub and uploaded it online. So if there's anyone out there who's willing to go through the painstaking effort of doing that, we'd all be very grateful for your services. It would be interesting to have seen how the release of these episodes impacted the popularity of the show as a whole, as this show failing to find an audience in the US, as well as the tie-in game failing to make an impact, is one of the likely reasons that F-Zero as a whole doesn't have much of a presence at Nintendo these days, outside of the occasional Mario Kart and Smash Bros appearance. The follow-up game to F-Zero GP Legend, F-Zero Climax, didn't see a release outside of Japan and was the final game in the series until 2023's F-Zero 99, which in itself is just a battle royale remake of the original F-Zero. If the rest of the show released in the US, there's a small possibility it might have caught on and could have been a bit more successful, but after how badly the first 15 episodes performed, 4Kids probably didn't see the point and elected not to release the rest of the episodes, despite the dubs already being complete for them. Either way, it is doubtful that Nintendo, or whoever owns the rights to the English dub of the show currently, would ever plan any sort of release for the series due to how unpopular it was in its original run. The best shot of finding it now would most likely be if anyone involved with the production was able to upload the episodes, or if the episodes aired on TV in English in another region at some point and we're all just blissfully unaware somehow. As stated before, information on the remaining episodes is pretty few and far between online, and it seems like it has mostly been forgotten about, so here's hoping that more information surfaces and we're able to one day see what remains of the dub for this show. Mews of the World promos. Okay, so this one is slightly different to the other entries on this list, as it isn't an actual show, but the ads that were used to promote a show, and that show was 4Kids' English dub of the 2002 anime Tokyo Mew Mew. The series focuses on 5 girls who are infused with the DNA of endangered animals that give them special powers that allow them to transform into superheroines. They use their powers to fight to protect the Earth from a group of aliens who wish to reclaim it as their own. 4Kids produced an English dub of the series under the title Mew Mew Power and aired the dub from February 19, 2005 to July of 2006. In the lead up to the show's release, the Foxbox block aired various promos and previews featuring the characters, or Mew Mews as they're referred to, in order to promote the show's release. Known as Mews of the World, these promos introduced each of the 5 Mews, who were renamed from their original Japanese counterparts, with a narrator talking about the Mew the promo was about, while showing various clips from the episodes that they were featured in. Each of the promos then ends with a newspaper article. In what seems to be a recurring theme of this video, the dub of the show did not do well with audiences. Due to this, the promo material for the show has become very rare and hard to come by. We currently have complete access to 2 of the 5 promos that were released. The first comes to us from YouTuber Hika Yagami, who uploaded a compilation of Mew Power previews, and amongst them was the promo for Karina Bucksworth, originally known as Minto Aizawa in the original Japanese version. The second promo was uploaded to YouTube by user Minty and was for the character Renee Roberts, known as Zakuro Fujiwara in the Japanese version. In the description of their video, Minty says that the promo was not their video and that it originated from a VHS rip that someone uploaded to the private torrent tracker MySpleen. The 3 remaining promos are lost as far as video footage is concerned, however we do have the audio tracks and screenshots of all 3 promos from an archived webpage of what looks to be a fan site for the series. Side note, but I find it kind of hilarious how the page says multiple times, "Please do not take my pictures or music files," and that it is copyright violation to do so. I'm pretty sure this guy is just some random person who decided to upload the promos online and he's just instantly claiming ownership over them. Oh, the early 2000s internet, what a thing you were. Regardless, aside from the screenshots and the audio, we don't have any actual video footage of the other 3 promos. I think the most likely way these would be found is the same way that Renee's promo was found, which is by scouring old VHS recordings from late 2004 to mid 2006, as this would have been the lead up to the show's airing and the duration of its entire TV run, so this is when the ads would have been played on TV. As the dub itself didn't do very well, with 4Kids losing the rights to dub the series after only dubbing half of the show, it is unlikely these promos would exist anywhere outside of old VHS recordings or the memories of those who saw them when they first aired on TV. GoGoRiki. While they were mostly known for their dubs of shows from Japan, 4Kids did venture to other regions to source some of the shows that they would create English dubs for, with one of these shows being the Russian show KikoRiki, or GoGoRiki, or Smesha-Riki, or Balloon Tunes. Yeah, this show has a lot of names in different parts of the world, but the name it goes under for the subject of today's video is GoGoRiki, as this is the title that 4Kids Entertainment chose when they dubbed the series in English back in 2008. The series is aimed at a much younger audience, ranging between the ages of 3 to 8, and focuses on various cute, spherically shaped animal creatures that live on an island, showing how they solve their everyday problems in a whimsical way. The character designs of the characters kind of reminds me of Moose and Z from Noggin. Shout out to anyone who remembers these 2 legends of my childhood. They were awesome. Anyways, GoGoRiki is incredibly popular in various parts of the world, including Russia, where the show originates, and China, where the audience for the show is so big it even surpasses the homeland of Russia's audience. As for the 4Kids dub of the series, it was actually one of the final dubs that they produced before filing for bankruptcy back in 2012. This led to the rights of the series to revert back to the show's original production company, the Riki Group, who decided it would be best to do a new dub of the show under the name KikoRiki, with this being the main English title for the series to this day. The 4Kids version of the show aired between September of 2008 and November of 2009 and garnered somewhat of a cult following throughout its run on the CW for Kids TV block. Despite this, the 4Kids dub of the show hasn't seen a home release since the end of the second season in 2009, and the only footage we have of it are from home recordings that have been uploaded to the internet. Out of the original 215 episodes that were produced in Russia, only 92 were dubbed into English by 4Kids Entertainment. We currently have access to 75 complete episodes of the show, which are archived on Dailymotion, and were once archived on the Internet Archive, but have since been taken down. The episodes we currently have in their entirety are episodes 1 to 63, episodes 69 to 77, and episodes 90 to 92. Episode 86, titled Snore Energy, is partially found, with a very short 20-second clip being available on YouTube. The visual quality of the clip is terrible, and it's recorded off a screen playing the episode, but it is currently the only footage we have of this episode. The rest of the 4Kids dub of the show remains hidden, with a total of 17 episodes missing their complete versions. We do have the complete cast list of the show's English dub that featured some 4Kids regulars such as Mike Pollock and Jason Griffith of Sonic X fame. Interestingly enough, Lost Media Wiki user Terry the Cat was able to contact Mike Pollock, who voiced GoGoRiki in the dub. But he said that he had no idea where the episodes of the dub are, so perhaps contacting some of the other cast members is one way the rest of the dub might be found. As of right now, it is currently unknown if the Riki group themselves even has access to the 4Kids dub of the show, so we may have better luck contacting some of the people associated with its production. Alternatively, if anyone has any home recordings of CW for Kids from the time that the show aired, it would be worth scrubbing through them to see if any episodes of the Lost English dub are on there. It's a shame that this is lost, as from what I can tell based on research online, this was a surprisingly faithful dub, especially by 4Kids standards. Having it unearthed in its entirety would be a nice piece of history to mark 4Kids' ability to produce a faithful dub of a foreign show, even if it took them to the depths of bankruptcy and their eventual demise to get there. Pretty Cure, the 4Kids dub. Now this is an interesting one, as technically speaking this is more of an existence unconfirmed piece of media than a definitely lost piece of media, but I want to throw it out there as a bonus entry just to see what you guys make of it. So what exactly was this all about? Well, in 2004, Toei Animation and Bandai released an anime called Futari wa Pretty Cure, or just Pretty Cure to those of us in the West. The series follows two young girls, Nagisa and Honoka, who find mysterious fairies that grant them the ability to transform into the legendary warriors known as Pretty Cure. They use their newfound powers to fight against the forces of the Dark Zone, who plan on invading Earth, typical fare for a magical girl anime. Unbeknownst to me, this series was apparently really popular and has spawned a whole franchise of spin-offs and movies. Due to its popularity, Toei has made multiple attempts to take Pretty Cure global, producing their own dub of the show at some point, and commissioning companies such as Ocean Productions to create an English dub for the series. But that's not what we're here to talk about today, as, you guessed it, 4Kids Entertainment once had the rights to produce a dub of the series to air in America. In 2006, 4Kids announced at New York Comic Con that they had gotten the rights to produce an English dub of the series and confirmed that it would air on Fox's 4Kids TV block in autumn of that year. Strangely though, this didn't happen and there were no updates on the dub since the announcement at NYCC, with 4Kids relinquishing the rights to the series in 2008 back to Toei, a whole 2 years after announcing that they had acquired them. So, what happened? Well, it's speculated that 4Kids cancelled the dub due to the lack of success from their previous attempts at dubbing magical girl anime, such as the aforementioned Tokyo Mew Mew and Magical Do-Re-Mi, another series that 4Kids dubbed that didn't do so great views-wise. But if they had the license for 2 years before dropping it and were planning on airing the show in autumn of the same year that they announced it, surely they must have done some work on the show, right? This is where more speculation comes to the table, as fans have theorised that 4Kids may have made an internal pilot for the dub of the series. I guess if this were to be true, then higher ups at 4Kids didn't take to the pilot very well, so they decided to scrap the series. However, this is entirely speculation, as I said, and there's no evidence that 4Kids ever completed any work on a pilot to test or pitch a dub of this show. Obviously, with this very shaky status as to whether or not it even exists, there is no audio or video footage of any kind to come from 4Kids' time owning the rights to Pretty Cure, and it's not known whether they actually did any work on the dub to begin with. I'm interested to hear what you guys think about it though. Do you think any sort of pilot does exist? It would be strange to me if they just kept the license around for 2 years only to not even attempt to do something with it, especially since they probably paid Toei a good amount of money to get the rights to dub the series, given how popular it was over in Japan. If anyone is able to contact any 4Kids employees and find out if any work was done on a dub for the show, do let me know in the comments below. I'd be super interested to hear what, if any, work was done to try and bring this massively popular anime over to our shores. Ultraman Tiga. On a poll I recently put out on my channel, where you guys voted for this video to be the next one, I also added tokusatsu lost media as an option on that list of video ideas. I love tokusatsu, especially superhero tokusatsu series like Super Sentai, so I thought why not combine the two ideas together for this entry, and talk about some tokusatsu lost media that also happen to involve 4Kids. So for those of you who've been living under a rock and somehow don't know, Ultraman is a massive media franchise owned by Subaraya Productions. Beginning in 1966, the franchise has spanned across TV shows, films, video games, and various other forms of media such as comics, and has been massively influential to Japanese culture. Seriously, Japan sees Ultraman in the same light that we see a character like Superman here in the West. It's a massive deal over there. Each Ultraman series follows beings known as Ultras that battle kaiju and various aliens, preventing them from causing havoc in the world. As the first Ultraman series after a 15-year franchise hiatus, Ultraman Tiga premiered in 1996 and became one of the most popular entries in the entire franchise, lasting for 52 episodes. This series is set in an alternate universe to the original Ultraman universe and follows the titular Ultraman Tiga as he battles hostile aliens in the year of 2007. Due to the series' enormous success in Japan, Tiga has seen a lot of exposure in the Ultraman franchise, even having his story retold in the series Ultraman Trigger New Generation Tiga to celebrate the show's 25th anniversary. With such popularity in Japan, there was bound to be someone in the West who wanted to capitalise and make some money from Ultraman Tiga's success, and that someone ended up being 4Kids Entertainment. 4Kids produced Ultraman Tiga's dub at their in-house recording studio and premiered it on the Foxbox block on September 14th, 2002, making this show one of their few forays into live-action programming. Much like almost any Japanese series they got their hands on, 4Kids' dub of Ultraman Tiga had massive changes made to it so that it complied with Fox's Standards and Practices division, as well as to localise the series to an American TV format and audience. These changes included, but weren't limited to, changing the show's soundtrack, giving certain monsters new sound effects, changing the story and dialogue to be more of a parody of the original series, and changing the names and lore of certain items and characters in the show. It should come as no surprise for this list at this point that Ultraman Tiga was eventually pulled from the Foxbox lineup in March of 2003 due to low ratings, with only 24 of the show's original 52 episodes airing. 4Kids did think of bringing the show back, but eventually decided against this in favour of a DVD release of the series that featured the original uncut series in Japanese with English subtitles. Voice actress Erika Schroeder, who provided voiceover work on the show, claimed that part of the reason for the show being so unsuccessful was 4Kids' indecisiveness on whether to make the dub a satirical take on the original show or make it a serious adaptation that followed the original story more closely. Even though only 24 episodes of the show aired on TV in the US, we know that the entire show was dubbed into English by 4Kids but didn't air due to the show being pulled because of its poor ratings. This information was revealed by co-producer of the show's dub, Mike Pecorillo, who told hosts Tara Sands and Steve Yerko of the 4Kids Flashback podcast that 4Kids wrote and produced the entire first season of Ultraman Tiga, and that he couldn't remember if the show was its original 52 episodes in length or cut down to be 48 episodes for the dub. Thankfully, it was later confirmed that the show was indeed 48 episodes due to merging and skipping certain parts of the show. Information and updates on the dub remained dormant until March 6th of 2024, hey, that's my birthday, when the 4Kids Flashback podcast unearthed the 48th episode of the show, which was confirmed to be the finale, and uploaded it to their YouTube channel for all of us to see. While this was fantastic progress for the search for this dub, and confirmed without question that the full English dub had been completed, we're still currently missing every other episode between the 24th episode and the finale. The complete English dub for the series did air on a TV channel called Pogo in India, as we have one surviving episode title for an episode called Dark Warrior Part 1 from an archived schedule on the Pogo website. However, no recordings or footage of Pogo airings of the show exist anywhere on the internet. In the interview with the 4Kids Flashback podcast, Mike Pecorillo said that he was pretty sure that the dub had been stored away somewhere in his house and that he would try to find it, but I can't find any sort of update on if he confirmed whether or not he had the episodes. If you're somehow watching this video, Mike, please do let us know if you're able to find the episodes. It would be really good if it is possible to release these and get them found. With 23 episodes left to find, I do think we have a good chance of unearthing this show's lost dub. We at least know one person, Mike, who may possibly have a copy of these episodes. Ultraman is such a massive franchise that has found enormous success all around the globe, so to see one of its earlier attempts at bringing itself to America unearthed in its entirety would be truly special. Since we know someone who potentially has a copy, as well as knowing that all of this dub was definitely aired on TV at one point somewhere in the world, I have a good amount of hope that there may be recordings out there and that the lost 4Kids dub of Ultraman Tiga will eventually see the light of day. Thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button down below, be sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos like this in the future, and if you guys have any topics that you'd like me to cover, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll be sure to take them into consideration. So once again, thanks for watching and I hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye.